Hello everybody, Trent from Maitri Journal here, coming at you with another gear video or packing list video. This time with the packing list for my 4,000 kilometer walk across Europe that I am undertaking to raise money for the Australian charity This World Exists for the reconstruction of a new women's school in Nepal. For more information on the project itself, check out the link in the description of this video, where you can also donate to this important women's project. 100% of donations go to the women's school. So here's what I'm taking for my walk across Europe. I'm starting here in the Netherlands. I'm currently in Amsterdam, and I will be finishing in Istanbul in Turkey. The route that I think I'll be taking will cover about 4,000 kilometers, and it should take anywhere between 6 and 8 months to complete. So first of all, my backpack, as you can see, it's festooned with Tibetan prayer flags, which is kind of a nod to Nepal and the area that I'm raising money for. I've also got a Nepali flag on there, but it's on the other side so you can't see it. It's an Osprey Kestrel 48, which comes out with the small back size to about 45 litres. So it should be enough to carry all of my gear. The all-important footwear. So footwear, thankfully, I was sponsored for by 2 different companies. My enclosed footwear, I was sponsored by Keen, who make amazing hiking footwear, which is for sale all over the world. These are the Versatrail trail runners, which are really fantastic. I've been testing them out. As you can see, they're already a little bit muddy, and hopefully they'll carry me the 4,000 kilometers across Europe. They're the Gore-Tex model, so they are waterproof, which is really important for the inevitable rain that I'll probably be walking through on my journey. I really love Xero Shoes, who are a company who make barefoot sandals. These are the Z-Trail sandals, which are a little bit thicker than some of their other barefoot sandals, but they still provide you with a really amazing kind of walking experience because you can feel everything beneath your feet, and also they're extremely lightweight as well. They don't weigh much at all. So these are going to be when I'm walking in really hot weather, but also when I'm around camp and just getting around without my backpack on sometimes as well. So I'm really excited for that. Coming into clothing, I just had these t-shirts printed today. They're on some Nike kind of soccer or football t-shirts, so nice moisture-wicking synthetic fabric. I've got 2 of those. I've also got a cotton t-shirt that I'm going to use to sleep in, which is currently in the wash, so it's not visible here. The all-important buff, which is essential on any journey. I've also got some lightweight gloves and a beanie just in case it gets cold. So I'm starting walking in April, which isn't particularly cold, and coming into summer it's going to be pretty warm, but when I'm crossing the Alps and the Carpathians and the Balkan mountain ranges and things like that, there is risks of snow and rain and things even in summer, so I've got a little bit of warm stuff just in case. I've got my convertible hiking trousers here, so shorts and trousers all rolled into one, which are really convenient. They're a bit muddy because I've been doing some hiking in them already. They're made by Sherpa, who's a Nepali company, so, you know, represent. I've also got some really light, thin yoga-style trousers. The reason I have these is because when I'm sleeping in my sleeping bag or when I'm staying at someone's house to kind of camp out there, these are a lot more comfortable to sleep in and get around than always having the same pair of hiking trousers on. So it's those little creature comforts that will make me really happy. I've also got a really light pair of kind of running shorts, which I'm going to use for swimming in as well if I find a particularly enticing looking lake or river that I want to bathe in. So those are really cool. I've got my synthetic down jacket by Rab, the Xenon X hoodie, which is the same one that is in my other packing video that I took to Nepal. It's done me well in temperatures as low as -40 degrees, of course with some more layers and things like that. So no matter how cold it gets in Europe, that's going to be more than sufficient coverage and warmth for me, and it's very breathable also. This is my rain jacket here by Montbell. So of course for extra rain protection, I'll be having that on hand. It's super light and it packs down really small, so it's not really a hassle to carry that. Here's a rather interesting one. It's a trekking umbrella. Now these aren't that common, and some trekkers swear by them and some people absolutely hate them. So I've read a lot of mixed reviews, and what I did is I got myself one from Euroschirm, which is a German company who make these super ultralight UV reflective trekking umbrellas. And I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to see how it performs in the rain as well as in the sun. It's mostly for the sun because I don't do that well in hot weather, and it's going to be extremely hot on some parts of this trail in summer in Europe. So I'm going to give it a try. I've figured out a way to rig it up to my backpack to use it hands-free so I can still use my trekking poles. So keep an eye on that one. It's going to be really interesting. I've got a cap to protect my head, which is a This World Exists official merchandise hat, so the charity that I'm raising money for, it's one of the hats from their website, so go and check that out if you're interested in some of their merchandise. I've got another shirt. It's a long sleeve kind of semi-thermal one from the North Face, and again this is just another warm layer that I can wear if it's not quite cold enough to wear this jacket, but if it's too cold to just wear a t-shirt. So this is going to come in handy a lot, and in the middle of summer this would be more than enough for any kind of cold clear nights and things like that. There's only 2 pairs of socks here, but I do actually have 4 that I'm taking with me. Most of them are trekking socks, not particularly thick. I do have 1 thick pair just in case my feet get cold at night if I'm camping out in the mountains. Also, all of my underwear is in the wash at the moment, but I am taking 3 pairs of bamboo underwear, which is super comfy. And all of the clothes fit into this small kind of compression stuff sack, so that's really great. It looks like a lot when it's laid out like this, but when you squeeze it all into a sack, it's not really much at all. So coming now into the camping equipment and some extra accessories and things like that. Here you can see I've got a super light dry bag, which is made out of Cordura fabric. I've had it for years and it's really fantastic. It also doubles as a day pack, so if I am having a rest in a town or an area of interest that I want to chill out in for a while, I can kind of put that on and put my stuff in there. It's always good to have extra dry bags anyway, just in case rain gets in and things get wet. Here is an inflatable pillow, which I haven't really rolled up properly, so it looks really big, but when you kind of roll it down, it gets really small. The reason I have an inflatable pillow is because I can sleep on pretty much any surface comfortably as long as I have a decent pillow, and these pillows that blow up are actually quite good. I like it quite a lot, and it's super light to carry around. So yeah, inflatable pillow, bit of a creature comfort, but it'll make me really happy. Here is a trowel, not very glamorous, but designed for digging holes in case you need to relieve yourself in the woods or the wilderness. It's a lot better than just leaving your poop lying around, so yeah, I always have one of those so I can bury any waste that I need to bury if I feel the need to go to the bathroom in the wilderness. Here's some trekking poles. I've got 2 trekking poles, both by Black Diamond. I've had them for years and they've done thousands and thousands of kilometers on trails all over the world, so hoping to continue their service on this trek. My Vango ultralight synthetic sleeping bag. I've also got a thermal liner in there too, so it adds a bit of extra warmth, and also I can use the liner only without the sleeping bag if it's really hot, and then I don't have to wash the whole sleeping bag. I can just wash the liner as well, so I always have a liner with a sleeping bag. This is my Thermarest, which is like a self-inflating, very thin but warm little mattress. It's a 3/4 length one. I find that I can still sleep quite comfortably even on a 3/4 length Thermarest. I don't need the full length one, so it's not really a big deal. The shelter that I'll be using in the event that I do have to camp, which will be probably the majority of the time when I'm in Eastern Europe, is the Sea to Summit Specialist Solo. It comes in at about 600 grams. It's super light, very small. It's about the size of a 1 litre water bottle, maybe a bit smaller. And it's really good just to have for emergencies in case things get hairy and I need to camp out somewhere at the last minute. It's only a single walled shelter, but it will do what I need it to do in a pinch, and particularly in summer it'll protect me against bugs and things like that. It's got like a nice mesh lining and stuff like that, so that's going to be really fantastic. A few other accessories. Headlamp, super important. I've got a spork made out of aircraft alloy, which I've had for years and is super reliable. Sewing kit, Swiss Army knife, Got some repairing tape. It's kind of like aluminium embedded tape, which is super strong. I've got some more repair tape, which is more for patching synthetic fabrics that you'd find on a jacket or a tent or a sleeping bag. Bonds really well, and I've used it quite extensively in the past. This is a little first aid kit, so I've got things like bandages, plasters, kind of stomach medications and things like that, just in case I get sick, all wrapped up in that little package there. Sunscreen, Compeed pads, which are essential because I'm probably going to get tons of blisters if I'm walking, 40 kilometers a day or something like that, particularly when you get sweaty in summer. So these are really good for preventing, or for treating blisters, I should say. I've got a compass as well, which is of course extremely important when trying to find the way when there's no trail, or if I'm on a trail where there's not particularly good maps. Compass is really important. Coming through to some more accessories here. This is actually my wallet, so of course I need cash and things to pay for food when I'm hiking across Europe. Got my passport, another important kind of documentation in this waterproof package. Notepad and pen. Coming through to our electronics here, I've got a power bank just in case I need to charge stuff in between towns and villages where I can actually charge things on mains power. Got a card reader for my camera, USB flash drive with a whole bunch of important stuff on there. Got a pedometer as well because people are really curious about how many steps I'm going to do when I'm crossing Europe, so I'll be keeping track of that. This one also measures my stride length as well, so I can get a really accurate reading of exactly how much distance I'm actually covering. So in between using GPS and using a pedometer, I'm going to get a really accurate distance measurement. Other electronics, I've got my Kindle here. I've got the this super light keyboard that goes with my tablet. My tablet is actually over here. Again, if I was just doing this trek for my own pleasure and it wasn't to raise money for charity, I'd probably be totally disconnected and I wouldn't have many electronics. But of course, because I need to promote the journey online to raise funds for this charity and things like that, which is kind of the most important thing, is getting the school built, I need to have electronics with me so that I can kind of provide updates to the community so that we can get donations for the school. I've got this little Gorilla tripod which comes in really handy when I'm doing filming and things on my camera. Also I can set it up and take manual photos and take videos of myself when I'm doing these video logs. This is a bit of an interesting one. So it's actually a head shaver. I have a bald head and I really love keeping things kind of clean when it comes to shaving my head. So this is called a Bald Eagle, and it's this amazing device which is actually surprisingly light, which I can use to shave my head. Again, it's a bit of a luxury. If I was going really ultralight, I wouldn't be packing it, but it's much easier than using a razor and shaving oil or shaving cream. And you don't need water either to use it, and it doesn't take long at all, so it's going to come in really handy. I'm going to need to keep relatively well presented on this journey because I'm going to be interacting with a lot of people and trying to get them behind supporting my charity and also allowing me to stay places. So grooming is somewhat more important than if this was just a pure wilderness trek. So yes, I will be keeping my head shaved and keeping things nice and neat when I'm on the trail. We're into toiletries now. Toothbrush, toothpaste, tongue scraper, lip balm, nail clipper, tweezers, floss, scissors, little pocket mirror. That's pretty much all I need to keep myself groomed and relatively hygienic on this trip. These are really interesting. These are some laminated cards that I got made up which kind of talk about my journey and also a cry for accommodation or somewhere to pitch my tent in all of the different languages that I'm going to be encountering on the trip. So just in case someone doesn't speak English, I can show them one of these paragraphs, which are in, I think, 7 or 8 different languages, and they can then kind of see what I'm doing and realize that I'm not just a bum and that I'm actually doing this journey across Europe for a more noble purpose, and then hopefully they can help me out with a place to stay or at least point me in the right direction. All of the toiletries and things are going to be in this waterproof dry bag. I've got a few dry bags and stuff sacks and things like that. It's really important just to keep things safe from rain and snow and whatever else I'm going to be encountering. A few more electronics. I've got a micro USB to USB adapter, a spare USB cable, some headphones, to keep all my stuff charged and to listen to podcasts and music on particularly long and boring stretches of the trail, which I'm sure there will be quite a few of. Got my watch there, and then I've got two 750ml water bottles to keep me hydrated. There's going to be a lot of places where I can fill up, so I don't need to carry too much water on this trip. There's a lot of wonderful rivers and things in Europe that I can get fresh water from, so that's going to be great. I've also got this Tupperware container, which is currently full of like granola and nuts and dark chocolate and a bunch of other stuff that I'm going to be nibbling on as I'm going along. When I get to more wilderness areas, I will be equipping myself with a few more accessories for consuming food and nutrition, but I am going to stick to a no-cook meal plan because I want to save weight in my pack, so I don't have to carry a stove and fuel and pots and things like that. And also I find I can get all of my nutrition through raw food pretty easily anyway. I do follow a vegan diet, so most of that is fruits, vegetables, nuts and grains and things anyway, so that's going to be fantastic. So yeah, that's all my stuff. It all fits into this 45-litre backpack with room to spare for extra food and extra water if need be. I'm sure I'm going to be carrying quite a bit of food at some stages when I'm on the trail without supply points for a week or more. For the most part though, I'm going to be crossing through a combination of rural and wilderness areas in Europe where coming across food and things will be relatively easy. Likewise, there's going to be a lot of cities and suburbs and things like that. It's going to be a really interesting mix of environments, and so I hope that what I'm packing contains enough kind of lightweight philosophy, but also enough little creature comforts and things that I wouldn't usually take on a wilderness trek that will come in handy in places like cities and towns, where hopefully I'll be able to have rests and stay with people through couch surfing and stuff for a period of time. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this is helpful for anyone who's planning a crazy expedition of a similar length, or anyone who just wants to hike in Europe. There's a lot of wilderness areas in Europe that are kind of underappreciated and relatively undiscovered, and I'm looking forward to exploring them, but the main thing I'm looking forward to is raising the $30,000 that we need to raise in order to rebuild the women's school in Nepal. So for more information, check out the description where there's a link to where you can donate and some blog articles. That's the URL there anyway, thisworldexists.org/walk, and wish me luck for my upcoming journey.